Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome back. I'm Jeannie and I just couldn't help myself when I saw that Kiara Sky released these cover jelly tips. They had so many beautiful looking colors and shapes and sizes that I just had to try them. And I figured if I was going to try them, I might as well share here and show you what I think about these new tips. They had so many beautiful shades of these tips that I had a hard time deciding, but I decided to try these two. So the first one is Vanilla Sky, which they call a light peachy nude. I'm not really sure how I feel about it on me. I'm kind of thinking I shouldn't go with like the peachy tones because they don't look the best on me. They're a little too pale for me. I mean, I may try these in the future anyway, but I'm not really digging right now how they look on me. And the next box is the color Amore, which is a baby pink. And I feel like it has like a little bit of a subtle purple undertone. And this color is so beautiful and I love it so much. And as you can tell, both the boxes of tips that I got, they are both in the medium almond because that's my tried and true. So I figured I'd pick up something that I always go back to in case I really loved these tips. They also had a special going where if you bought 2 boxes of the cover jelly tips, you got a free bottle of builder gel. And I had been eyeing their builder gel for the jelly tips for a while now, and I just hadn't gotten around to trying it. So I figured now was a really good time since it came free with 2 boxes of tips. So, it's like your typical builder gel consistency. It's thicker. This will be interesting though because it's been a while since I've used any kind of like builder gel or jelly gel glue for my tips because usually I'm using more of the solid type gels to adhere my tips. So I'm going to try this out anyway because I was just curious about how it worked. So let's go ahead and jump into the jelly tip application. So of course I decided to use Amore because that was my favorite color. And I'm just going to go ahead and start sizing out my tips. I have like a pretty good idea of what kind of sizes I need for the Kiara Sky tips because I recently tried their regular jelly tips, which I'll leave the link for that video above in the cards if you want to check that out. So I have an idea, but I still want to size them out just to make sure that they are the same sizing as the regular jelly tips. I will say, I feel like these are a little bit thinner than the regular jelly tips because one of my biggest things about the regular jelly tips was I liked them, but I felt that they were a little bit thicker than my preference. So I feel like these ones, the cover jelly tips, were a little bit thinner, which I prefer. But I'd still say, even though they are a little bit thinner, they feel really sturdy. Like they don't feel flimsy at all. So I've been wearing them for about a day now without anything on top and, no concerns. Like I'm not even close to bending them. They're holding up really well. And I can be a little bit rough on my hands. So I think they have good strength to them. But the biggest thing for me when wearing jelly tips is when I dip on top of them because that's when I really know whether the tips are too thick or not. Because I always usually do the same dipping process. I always do 2 layers of color, capping in clear. And if my nails aren't too thick when I do that, wearing jelly tips, then I know they're a good thickness. But sometimes, like I feel like when I did the Kiara Sky regular jelly tips, I felt like they were just a little bit too thick when I dipped on top of. But when I wore gel polish on top of them, they were perfectly fine. So I really say it's a matter of preference. For me, my preference is to dip on top of my tips, so thinness is important to me. But if you're a gel polish wearer, you probably want tips a little bit thicker so that you have more strength. Before I apply my tips, I'm just going to file off that little tab at the free edge of all the tips, as well as I'm just going to do a little bit of shaping at the cuticle line for some of my tips so they fit a little bit better. I applied my Jello peel-off base gel off camera just in case because I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about these tips. And I've also got my Vivid Glam Co. Flash Cure Lamp up in the corner. So now we're going to get to my tip application. So I'm applying that builder gel and I'm applying it to the area where the tip is going to meet my nail bed. So I'm just brushing that on. And then I'm taking my brush and I'm scraping off the excess gel at the cuticle line. And this excess gel is going to be what's going to fill the gap between the apex of the tip and my natural nail because my nails are a bit flatter. So I'm going to start the tip at my cuticle line and then I'm just going to gently press down towards my free edge so the gel will kind of flow downwards and fill in any gap. And this was a little bit trickier for me because like I said earlier, I'm used to using solid gels. So I can't just apply the tip and then move my finger because then it would just unstick. So I have to redo it, but I'm going to do that and then I'm just going to give it a flash cure for 15 seconds. The flash cure is just so the tip won't move on me, so it's to hold it in place. But when I'm done with all 5 fingers, then I will give them a full cure in my big lamp. And I actually end up doing 2 to 3 minutes just because I wanted to be extra sure that the gel was fully cured. I'll walk you through one more nail just in case you missed the process. So I'm going to take my builder gel and I'm going to brush that on to the inside of my tip and I want it to cover the whole area that is going to touch my nail bed, and then I'm going to scrape the excess gel that's already on the brush onto the cuticle area of that gel, so it's going to leave a little pool of gel. And so I'm going to place the tip at my cuticle line almost perpendicular, and then I'm going to slowly press down towards my free edge to where the gel is going to flow downwards. And then once I've got that in place, I'm going to flash cure it for 10 to 15 seconds. I do have a little bit of seepage because I'm not used to working with non-solid gel, so I'm going to do a little bit cleanup. So I'm using my efile and my small mandrel bit from Kiara Sky, and I'm just going to go around the cuticle line and the sidewalls to clean some of that up. Anytime I'm doing a mani, and even when I'm just applying tips, I always make sure that I finish off by rehydrating my cuticles. So I'm using my Scales of Mermaid cuticle oil. This is in the scent Your Berry Sweet. And I especially like to do it after I apply tips because I always try to make sure that my nails are as dehydrated as possible so I don't have any lifting, so my cuticles are especially crusty. And I am all finished, super quick and easy, and these cover jelly tips by Kiara Sky are so, so beautiful. I absolutely have no regrets in getting these. I'm still not sure about the Vanilla Sky. I will still wear them and give them a try, but I may try a different color or maybe even different shapes and sizes because I love the way these look. Because sometimes when I apply jelly tips, I'll apply like a sheer gel polish on top just so I have a little bit of color. But for these, I don't even have to do that. So I just love the way they look straight on. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue creating content like this. And it also helps YouTube recommend me to others, which helps grow my channel. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I upload content every Monday and Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.